See now, today is Thursday, October 15th. I'm Laverne McGee.
I'm Anthony, Amy, and Laverne, good to see you back. I know you were under the weather yesterday, so very happy to see you back. I do have a question for you, though, now that you're getting back to 100%. What will you do tonight? Because I know for many of us, if there are a couple of games on that we want to see more than one game, you might have TV on, a device over here, and you're watching and listening to both. Will you do the same for the two town halls tonight?
I sure will. And Anthony, anybody who watches us on a regular...
Johns Hopkins University reported more than 59,000 new coronavirus cases and 985 new COVID-19 deaths in the United States yesterday. That has health experts worried about what will happen as the holidays approach. New cases are on the rise in at least 35 states over the past week, and the country is averaging more than 50,000 new cases per day for the first time in about 2 months. The nearly 60,000 new cases reported Wednesday marked the highest total since August.
The number of Americans seeking unemployment benefits rose last week by the most in 2 months to 898,000, a historically high number, and evidence that layoffs remain a hindrance to the economy's recovery from the pandemic recession. Today's report comes from the Labor Department and coincides with other recent data that have signaled a slowdown in hiring. The economy is still roughly 10.7 million jobs short of recovering all the 22 million jobs that were lost when the pandemic struck in early spring. No surprises, really, Anthony. We're certainly not expecting any type of significant recovery for some time. And of course, with the election, what is it, less than 18 days away now? Certainly not a lot is going to be happening until we know who the next president of the United States is. So unfortunately, today's closing numbers, stocks are ending mostly lower on Wall Street, giving the S&P 500 its third straight loss this week. The benchmark index slipped 0.2% today. Rising infections in Europe and new measures to contain the coronavirus there motivated traders to pull money out of their riskier investments. European markets fell broadly after France imposed a curfew on many of its biggest cities, and Londoners faced new travel restrictions. A day after Barnes & Noble solved its Nook outage, the bookstore revealed a far more serious problem. A massive cybersecurity attack breached the company's data, exposing information about customers, including email addresses and other personal information. Earlier this week, Barnes & Noble sent customers an email to notify them about the cyber attack. The company made clear that customers' financial information had not been exposed. Their transaction history, however, was potentially exposed. And the company said transaction history, meaning purchase information related to the books and other products that you have bought from us, were retained in systems that were impacted by the security attack. This is one of those things that you never want to hear, because all you're trying to do is read a good book or purchase whatever it is you need, and there you go. Suddenly you're exposed to who knows what and where they are. It's really difficult. It's gotten to the point, Anthony, where I have one credit card that I use that I know that if it had to, be destroyed or get taken over, it wouldn't matter because it's got such a low balance on it. And I try to use that mainly for things, but it's really become so difficult in this age of cybersecurity issues to try and keep all of your information safe. I think I told you before, I was one of the people in the Target scam, not Target obviously doing the scam, but they tried to scam Target customers a few years back, and I had to, get rid of my credit card and redo all of these things. It can be a nightmare, but it's one of those things that we just haven't solved. So if we want to get those unemployment numbers up, if I were somebody, I would try to learn how to get into the cybersecurity business.
It's interesting that you mentioned in the story that the company says that customers' financial information has not been exposed. Barnes & Noble went out of its way to say that. We hope so. I mean, there's really no way initially for us to know if that's the case, but you hope so. I mean, in this age where, quite frankly, transparency seems to be a lost art, frankly, from many government heads and company heads. And so we hope that that is indeed the case, that people's financial information was not disclosed. But any information, as you said, any information, any form of privacy, even such as titles of books that you're interested in and wish to purchase and wind up purchasing, those things are information that belong to you. And even something as quote unquote minor as that is something that would be alarming for anyone. Just knowing that someone is able to peek into your history, peek into your mind, into what it is that you're thinking without your permission. It's got to be scary.
Yeah, or you could have bought a book as a gift for somebody. Who knows?
Right.
I mean, not that that really matters too much, but here's the thing, Anthony. Cybersecurity is a field that is still relatively new. What happened is technology really took off faster than it could then the legislators could keep up with it. So there's really not enough security in place for the average consumer, because we just saw businesses they just have so much leeway in terms of your information. All of these companies and stores that you purchase things from, they know your name, your address, your credit card information, your likes, your habits, all that stuff. And who's guarding them? Who is guarding their information? So unfortunately, technology is wonderful, but it does need to have somebody sort of overseeing it. And usually that's a government body. And that's what we're seeing with social media now, where all these social media giants seem to have more power than the president, because they can decide what tweets to delete or what to keep up. And here we see big businesses with all of our information. They need to have systems in place, and they try to do that, but it's just simply not enough for all of these cyber attackers out of there. So this is a really, really new industry, a new area of development, and something that more and more people, they need to get involved in this because we need to get this under control. We just keep hearing it more and more, Anthony.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Well, Laverne, in terms of travel, we speak about the airline industry all the time. The United Airlines is reporting that it lost 2.5